Okay, so let's talk about something that millions of immigrants go through every single day, but pretty much no one actually discusses out loud. It's this incredible pressure to perform, to look successful for the family you left behind.
It all kind of starts with this unspoken rule, right? It's like a secret agreement. No matter how tough things get, you put on a brave face, you smile for the video call, and you never let them see the struggle.
It's basically a performance, a carefully curated one. We make sure the camera catches the new apartment or, the reliable car. But we angle it away from the pile of bills, the second job we're working on weekends, or that deep loneliness that can hit when you're thousands of miles from home.
And this whole performance, well, it has a name that's starting to catch on. The Immigrant Success Mask. It perfectly describes this double life, projecting an image of doing great, while privately you're dealing with all the pressure of starting over from scratch.
So why even wear the mask? I mean, it's not just about pride. It usually comes down to three universal traps that, honestly, create this whole cycle of silence.
So the first one is the currency conversion trap. This is a big one. It's this powerful illusion that's created by just doing the math. Your salary might be just enough to scrape by in a big city like London or Toronto, but when you convert it back to your home currency, suddenly it sounds like an absolute fortune. And that creates a huge disconnect. Your family hears you make, say, $4,000 a month, and they're picturing a life of luxury. They don't see the reality of it. $1,800 for rent, $500 for insurance, taxes, groceries. I mean, how can you complain about being broke to someone who earns a tiny fraction of that? You can't. So you don't. You just stay quiet.
And that perception of you being rich, well, it leads right into the second trap, what's known as the black tax, or what some people call the ATM syndrome. It's this unspoken rule that you, the one who left, are now the financial safety net for the entire extended family.
This feeling of being dehumanized, it's really profound. It's like your worth isn't about who you are anymore, but about how much cash you can send back. And your own dreams, buying a house, investing in your future, they all get put on hold to pay for a sibling's education or a parent's medical bills.
And just to be clear, this is not some small, isolated thing. On a global scale, immigrants send over $600 billion home every single year in what's called remittances. That's often way more than all foreign aid combined. This number just shows you the massive scale of the sacrifice being made.
Now, the third trap is a little more personal. It's an internal one, the return fantasy. I think pretty much every immigrant starts with this dream, right? I'll just go for 5 years, work super hard, save up a bunch of money, and then I'll go back home a hero, a success.
But somehow, 5 years turns into 10. Life just happens. The home you remember starts to change. And so do you. And eventually, you can find yourself stuck in this weird, borderless limbo, where you don't quite fit in here, but you don't really fit in back there anymore either.
So what's the real impact of all these traps put together? What's the actual emotional price tag for wearing that success mask year after year?
Wow. This quote just captures that feeling of invisible sacrifice perfectly. You're privately struggling to fund a big public party for someone else, only to realize your contribution, and maybe even your existence, has been completely forgotten.
And here it is, the double life in action. It's that exhausting, stark contrast between the glamorous life people think you have and the gritty reality of what it actually takes just to get by.
And in the end, for so many, it all comes down to this, a deep, inescapable guilt. Guilt for leaving in the first place, and then more guilt for not being some kind of magical superhero who can solve every single problem back home, no matter how impossible it is.
And look, these aren't just feelings. There's data on this. Research actually shows that immigrants report much higher rates of anxiety that are directly tied to these financial family obligations. This emotional cost has a real, measurable impact on mental health.
So when you're facing all of this, is there a way out? Is it even possible to take off the mask? Well, the conversation is starting to shift towards a new path, and it begins with totally redefining what it means to have made it. We really have to challenge our own definition of success. I mean, think about it. If making it means you have to suffer quietly just so people can applaud you from afar, that's not success. That's just a long, exhausting performance.
The way forward seems to be a kind of radical honesty. First, telling your story, the real one. Yeah, I earn in dollars, but my expenses are in dollars too. Second, setting healthy boundaries so you're not sacrificing your own future. And finally, and maybe most importantly, redefining what success actually looks like, on your own terms.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. What if true success, the real end goal of this whole incredible journey, isn't about the performance? What if it's not about the applause you get from an audience far away, but about finding a little bit of peace, right here, right where you are?